but I often make the announcement just to welcome everybody. And so it might sound something like this. Welcome everybody to our performance seminar. This is our 6 o'clock session for Wednesday, the 9th of July. And we have one performer with us. Her name is Miss Anaya. Welcome everybody now to our performance seminar. This is our, do you hear the echo? Session. Really important that you go to this little icon down here. Shut it off. Otherwise, you're going to hear your voice and then you'll hear the echo of the playing. All right. So just remember that there. Always go down to this little icon and shut that off. Now there's no echoes. All right. So then in the next section here, this is the last section, and we won't go on any longer after this, but Anaya is going to play. All right. So she'll play her piece. And at the end of the piece, we give some thoughts of things that went well, things that we'd like to improve for next time. And then if there are other kids in the room, ask them for their thoughts as well. Always beginning with the positive. What did you think that Anaya did well? What are some things that she can practice on for next time? Yeah. And these notes are going to be put in. So once this video is uploaded, you're going to put the video in here, this video URL. And then once that's done, there's going to be a section where you can just put in some notes for the students. But I'll put that in another document later on. But that's the general rundown. Yeah. So I know that's a lot to take on, but there's going to be a play-by-play as well on a separate doc that goes along with this video. All right, so all the best, and anyone that's watching this here, if you need any other help on how to run the performance seminar, don't hesitate to message. All right, let's get our class started. Cool, thank you for your patience, Anaya. Okay, so now we run our class. Anaya, do you want to go ahead and tell us what you're going to perform today?
Hi, my name is Anaya, and I'm going to be performing Minuet in G minor.
What was that again? Say it again.
I'm going to be performing Minuet in G minor.
Nice work, Miss Anaya. Oh, that was like a trailer to a movie, eh? You only just gave us a portion. What? You know what? You can't tease us like that. You should say next time, I'm going to play one page. Right? Hey, especially if you're playing like at a retirement village and they'll be like, I thought she was going to play the whole piece. Because you will, right? Have you heard of these empathy concerts, Anaya, that are happening?
Actually, no.
Okay, I'll give you a little brief of those as well. And so every second Saturday of the month, Oak Cliff students are going to go out to retirement villages in Pleasanton and Evergreen and play for the old folks. And there's a set of pieces that the students work from. There's like 12 pieces. And they're specifically catered to music that these grandparents would have listened to when they were teenagers. Kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
So when you say, hi, my name is Anaya, and I'm going to play You Are My Sunshine, page 1. She didn't play the whole thing. No cookies for that young lady. Yeah, but hey, let's start with you, Anaya. How was this run through for you?
Pretty good.
Yeah. Why don't you walk me through what went well? What are you happy with?
Uh,
Or maybe let me rephrase that. What have you been working on to improve?
maybe like kind of dynamics.
Okay, cool. Any dynamics in particular that you're working on?
Kind of differentiating the first and the third line.
First and the third line. Okay, cool. So from a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being awful, 10 being perfect, what would you say your score is?
Five maybe.
Right, 5. Oh, okay then. So if you've got 50% left, what do you need to do to get the other 5 for the 10? What do you need to do?
Practice the two ones with the dynamics.
Yeah. So you can go a step further and you start thinking, how do you create dynamics, right? Because dynamics is essentially its volume, isn't it? Right? So you've got a mezzo forte here. And do you know what a mezzo forte is?
Yeah, like medium loud.
Yeah, medium loud. And then here, the P is what?
Like quiet. Kind of.
Quiet. Yeah? Okay, cool. So you can start thinking about, what does quiet sound like? What is the level of quiet that you're looking for? Yeah? And can you hear a big difference between the MF and the P? When you play the MF, how does that feel? Are you heavier in the keys, right? When
Yeah,
you play the P, if you want to play something quiet, would you be heavier in the keys, or are you going to be a little lighter in the keys?
lighter.
Yeah, but that's up to you to experiment. You need to feel it. You need to feel it for yourself. Yeah. Every piano and keyboard is going to be different, so it might be a little bit more tricky on your keyboard, or it might be easy. I'm not sure, but do your very best to control that. Yeah. Okay. What did you think about your transitions and how smooth you were able to play going from note to note?
Um, there's certain areas that I might be able to work on, but I think it was mostly smooth.
Okay, cool. Mostly smooth. Good. I thought so too. I think you're doing a pretty good job at being able to find a tempo that you can play the notes evenly and you don't have to guess too much where you have to go. Do you want to, do you remember an area in this piece that the transitions or going from note to note was a little bit wobbly? Is-
Um, I'm not sure actually.
Okay, it was toward the end. There's a lot going on here, right? In the left hand and even in the right hand, right? So one thing that you want to do when you're practicing is just play separate hands, right? Go through separate hands, look at the fingering that's used, and play slowly enough that you're able to get from one note to the next, right?
Yeah,
Right? Especially these ones here. Look, there's a big jump here from chord 4, so from finger 4. Prepare your thumb and then down to the E flat and then this chord, right? There's a lot going on here, right? Right here. At the same time, look at everything that's happening in the right hand. Right? Look at this. So you could actually practice just this part. Da da da. Right? You're just going down by step and then up a step. Meanwhile, you're going up by a fourth. Once you get that there, you can give yourself a little tick, right? So that could be one section, couldn't it? Then the next section from there could be, where is it? Yadam. That's an interesting looking section as well. You're going up by 4 notes. You're going down by 5 notes. So if you're wondering why it's taking a little bit of time to do that, it's natural, Anaya, because there's a lot of moving parts. And so what you want to do is go through it just very slowly and figure out, how am I moving from place to place? Start with the right hand first, and then you can move to the left hand. Yeah? How
yeah,
does that sound? Yeah? All
yeah.
right, cool. So when you're looking at a piece of music, start with the basics, the spelling and how you pronounce the word. Yeah? Meaning, have you got the notes, the rhythm, and the coordination? Get that first. Dynamics, articulation, just you can work with that later. But make sure that that initial base really solid. Yeah? Should we put down some thoughts just up here? What should we do? There we go. Oh, there we go. You can add note here. Yeah? So what are some ideas that you want to work on for next time?
Um,
On the last line.
maybe my transitions.
Yeah. Focus. Now, Miss Erica, in a normal class, there will be no time to do these notes. This is actually done after, but just because we got one, this is a treat. we can actually, because this is, I like this part that the student can actually relay, because some of them are like, I don't understand your accent. I'm like, okay. All right. So, sorry, what was that again, Anaya? Focus on the last line. And what did you say again?
Like the transitions between notes.
Working on the transitions between notes. Okay. So we can put that there. Focus on the last. Maybe that's just in general, isn't it? So we don't even need to focus on the last line. So we put down goal. And then your plan. What's your plan?
I guess practicing like measure by measure kind of, or like
Working. You might even go beat by beat, right? And then measure by measure. So you go in small increments. Did you notice how I created those little grids, those little squares within the bar? And then I want you to explore how do the notes shift. Step, skip, jump. And then, is it a good idea to practice hands together at first, or is it maybe one hand at a time?
one hand at a time, probably.
Yeah, perhaps. Not all the time. Some people argue it's actually more efficient just to go hands together from the get-go. But I think for when we're first starting a piece, hands separate won't hurt. Hands separate. Practice. Train the hand. With proper. Yeah. Miss Erica, did we miss anything in terms of doing this micro practice?
Nope, I think we
right?
got it. Yeah.
So it might be just something like this. And so then when you'd go into your lesson, Anaya, and your teacher says, well, what did you do in seminar? And you go, well, I played through and these are some of the things we discussed and now it's all here ready to go. Does that sound cool?
Yes.
All right. You should aim to come back within the next week or so with the next section. How's that sound? All right, Miss Anaya, I've held you 2 minutes over time. I'll let you go, but enjoy the rest of your lessons and we'll see you again in Kaizen sometime, okay?
Yeah.
All
See you tomorrow,
right.
Anaya.